Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Alex Dworkin and I'm a managing partner at 40 Capital. We specialize in one-of-a-kind mathematical approach to the stock market where we analyze the market and individual equities in multidimensional space. And when we do, essentially perfect order emerges. On top of that, over the years we've developed a number of very powerful timing tools, and when we combine both, we can very often predict what the stock market or individual equities will do in both time and price, and we can typically do it on multiple time frames. Whether we're talking about long-term or short-term doesn't really matter. I personally believe our work is nearly identical to what Jim Simmons was able to accomplish at Renaissance Technologies, if you're familiar with Jim. Now, our primary goal as a firm is to be able to identify equities that will 2x, 5x, 10x within a relatively short period of time. And we can typically do it. So essentially our objective is to find the next Apple, Bitcoin, Nvidia, Tesla, and so forth. And we can typically do it by utilizing our very powerful mathematical calculations that we've developed into a software. And now our software has the capability to scan the entire S&P 500. It is able to calculate the market in multidimensional space. And based on that, essentially take out those equities that are about to bottom, put in whether it's short-term bottoms or long-term bottoms, doesn't really matter, but it's able to identify those bottoms, and from those bottoms it is able to project well into the future how much higher it's going to go. And based on that, because we have the entire spectrum of stocks, we can pick only the best opportunities that will once again 2x, 5x, 10x, and so on and so forth. There is description in at the bottom of this video, or there's a link to at the bottom of this video that will take you to the description of our work, how we calculate the market, proof, and so on and so forth. So if you're interested, please definitely take a look, and you can learn a lot more about how we do it. So today we're going to be looking at one of our weekly updates. So we have 52 mega cap stocks that we follow on a semi-annual basis, meaning we update them once or twice a year. And today we're going to be looking at gold. Okay, so let's see what our calculations say about gold. Perhaps I'm going to anger some gold bugs out there. You know how passionate they are about the metal, but that's going to be for the short term, because while our work suggests we are about to top out and head lower into a correction for the metal, once that correction is over next year, a much more significant rally will take place. So I do apologize for not updating this top right here is April 21st or April 21st of this year top. I'm having problem with my data provider. They're not updating the data set properly. So, but nevertheless, we are basically sitting today where this particular top was. The top that we had on August 8th was just a little bit higher than this one. So for our purposes, it's a double top formation, and it doesn't impact our overall forecast. Now, before we start, it's important to mention that so far the stock has been performing just as anticipated. It actually went a little bit higher than our original projections that we had in this area, but now it is coming to a completion of this particular bull leg, and a significant correction is coming up. So let me explain the time frames associated with it, the exact prices, and why it's going to happen. So the triangles you see at the top and bottom of the chart are essentially, we call them cycle composites. And it's a very simplistic representation of a very complex mathematical concept. So what we do is we scan the chart back, we identify the cycle composites within the framework of a chart in multidimensional space, and then we project it into the future. They are very accurate. Now, I should mention that there is multiple composites running for any given individual stocks or the overall stock market. So for example, on the Dow Jones we have 2 bottom composites running and 2 top composites running at the same time. But if you put them together, they will very closely resemble the two-dimensional time and price chart that you see in front of you. So the bottom composites are essentially responsible for putting in important bottoms on multiple time frames. This is just the long-term composition for gold futures, and the top composites are responsible for putting in tops, as you can see very clearly from the chart. Okay, the lines you see on the chart are different timing tool that we use. We call them cycle clusters, and once again we have proprietary cycles that we allow to scan the chart, and then the chart identifies those cycles and projects them into the future. And what we found over the years is that important turning points, whether we, well, it depends on whether we're looking at the short-term composition or the long-term composition. Important turning points typically occur when there's multiple cycles arriving at the same time, or the same day, if you may. And the more cycles arrived at any particular juncture, the better. So if we have 2, 5, 10 arriving on the same day, then rest assured there's going to be a turning point there. Okay? Now, the cycle composites get us into the neighborhood of any particular top or bottom. So if we click here on this particular chart, you will see that it's identifies February 6th of 2025 as a completion point for this anticipated top. Now, I typically say, because this is such a long-term cycle, there's going to be plus or minus 3 months variance associated with it. But if we look at the cycle clusters, it is typically able to give us the answer to the day. So as you can see the line here and there. Now, it's important to address the April 21st top, which was within the confines of this particular time turning point, and what we experienced in August in August, just a few weeks ago, August 8th top, which as of right now can be considered as a double top formation. And basically what we're seeing here is that it's going to increase into this particular top, and then subsequently we call it mid-cycle top, and then subsequently it's going to fall into this mid-cycle bottom, which is scheduled for April of 2026. Now, this needs to be corrected according to our latest calculations into probably the third or the fourth quarter of 2026, but nevertheless the structure itself is very visible here. We increase into this top, which we are doing as we speak, and then subsequently we fall into this bottom, which is scheduled for the fourth quarter of 2026. Once this bottom occurs, we're going to increase quite substantially, rally right above the levels that we're at today into this top that is scheduled for August of 2029. And August of 2029 is a very important date for a number of different reasons that I'm not going to get into in today's presentation. So the question becomes, where's the top and where's the bottom, and what is it going to do after that? And those are very important questions. So let me look at this particular chart. So this is just a different representation of our three-dimensional calculations, and basically what it's saying is that gold is topping in this area. Our exact calculations suggest that the top, well, there's two possibilities: that we saw the top on April 21st, which is in line with the double top formation that we saw in August, which was a little bit higher, that we saw in August 8th. But the second possibility is that we're going to see a slightly higher high, and that particular slightly higher high is located at 3,650 plus or minus $50. So the top could be in, or we're going to see a slightly higher high of $3,650 plus or minus $50. Once that occurs, all time and price variables will be satisfied, and gold should begin its correction into that fourth quarter of 2026 time juncture. Now, I don't want to be too specific in this particular video, but expect a price range of approximately, well, there's a good target area around $2,400 for the metal, and that's where most likely the bottom is going to be. If we break below that level, then gold can contract quite a bit more. So we do have exact time and price specification or time and price targets associated with gold that is available for our subscribers. We do have a free trial for our service if you would be interested in taking or signing up and taking a look at those exact time and price specification. I think you find it very helpful in terms of helping you identify what gold's going to do going forward. And it's, as I mentioned, 30-day free trial, no strings attached, no credit cards, none of that stuff. All you have to do is go to our homepage, link below in the description of the video, click contact us, send me a very quick email, and then we'll set you up with the trial. So, but once the bottom is in around this area, expect gold to surge to new highs. I wouldn't be surprised to see it at 5,000 by 2029. So I think, before mentioned, gold bugs will be very happy with that particular projection. Nothing unexpected is happening, as we've been actually talking about gold doing this move higher for quite a bit. If you're a technician, you know that this was a very, well, I don't want to say very big, but it was kind of a very impressive, giant cup and handle formation, technical formation that typically results to the upside. And if the size of it is any indicator, then of course gold will continue to rally into, as we said, 5,000, 6,000 is not out of the question as well. So we can go to much higher levels from this point on. But before that happens, once again, we're going to see a top here. It will follow the market. It will decline into that 24 target, approximately 2,400 target. And once that's complete, gold is going to surge much higher. So hopefully you found this update helpful. And we'll be back, I think, with JP Morgan tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, we have a webinar coming up, I believe, on September 5th. We only have 10 spots available. So if you'd be interested in learning a little bit more about our work, learning how we're going to generate massive return. We already have, but how we're going to continue to generate massive returns for investors. Also, we will take a look at the composition of the overall stock market, which we rarely do in a free forum because that's essentially our bread and butter, but we'll talk about that during our webinar. So you're more than welcome to sign up and do so soon because all those spots are going to go. Thank you very much for your time. Have a wonderful day ahead, and we'll be back with another update tomorrow. Bye-bye.